Yo, what up? Superman is in the building, son.
In the house.
Poppin'?
No cape this time.
No cape. A capeless Superman.
I'm wearing the briefs. I'm wearing the Superman briefs.
At least we're wearing them under. Thank you for doing that.
All right. keeping it true to New 52, right?
There we go. So what's poppin', kiddo? How's New York Comic-Con treating you?
It's been great. We got in Wednesday night. We had a full day yesterday for some other stuff. And man, it's good being back in events in person. People in the room, the energy. Like, I've been missing that in the last 3 years. Where did COVID go? I don't even know. But it's great. I love seeing people. I love seeing the cosplay. The dealer's room floor is popping. It's amazing.
That's what it is. So what up, man? You're Superman. How do you feel stepping into the iconic role for this film?
Inadequate. I can't be Superman, right? I mean, I certainly tried enough when I was a kid. I was guilty of wearing the briefs and the blanket and jumping off the couches and running into walls and doing all sorts of stuff. But I was lucky enough to play Superman earlier in the 2010s for Lego, which is obviously like a funnier performance, but he meant so much to me as a kid growing up and just throughout, all of my adult years and becoming a father. Like, it's amazing getting to portray him dramatically for the first time. So that was really special. Plus, having my wife be Lois Lane, it doesn't get any better.
Oh yeah, you guys were putting Jonathan in his place, right?
Trying to, and then him putting us in our place.
So how much of that parenting of your personal parenting was put into your Superman?
I mean, a little bit of it, right? It's impossible not to think of your own son as you're playing the role, and it was really great because our good friend Troy Baker, we see him every weekend. He's playing Batman. I'm playing Superman. Laura is Lois Lane, and our sons are actually 2 months apart. They're both 4. So we raised a glass after we recorded it. It was just great thinking of our kids, and we'll definitely use the film as leverage in the coming year. So anytime there's an argument or a dispute, we'll be like, "Listen, your dad's a superhero. You better listen to what we're saying." But it was just great, and it was impossible not to think of our own kids as we were doing it. I think that's a great layer to Superman, right? How does he make himself available to his own son when the guy can do anything?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You've played a lot of legendary voice acting characters. I know you did Thor, and on Critical Role you were Grodd in Thor, which I'm a big fan of. Did any of those characters or any previous works of yours come through when you were voicing Superman?
Oh, that's a great question. All performances or characters that we play usually have a slice of ourselves in them. And there's a real empathetic and sort of softer side to Grog, even though he's this big, raging machine. And obviously, I think, Thor and Superman is the crossover battle that you always kind of want to see if those two universes collide. So there's also just a deep, bassy, sound that comes with Superman and is obviously there for Thor as well. My own dad had that sort of deep, barrel-chested type sound, so that's always something I try to put into it, just because I responded to it as a kid. But yeah, there's always little crossovers between each of them. Somebody asked me if Knuckles the Echidna shows up in my Superman performance. I don't think that happened, but they definitely help round out the performance as you're thinking of a new character. But there's really only one Man of Steel, and so that was pretty great. Yeah.
Did you, when you were preparing for the role, did you read any of the comic books? Because there was a long arc during the Rebirth era where Superman and it was kind of like Superman and his son, and how he was relating to have this, relating to his son.
I watched it. I didn't read any of the comics. I read, or any of the new comics rather. I did watch a little Lois and Clark just to see how they were handling that. I watched some of the previous animated stuff, and I just thought it was fascinating to see Jonathan at this particular age. They've obviously got some sort of a rhythm set up at home. Lois is busy as ever. Clark's flying around doing all of this stuff, and then his powers show up later, which I loved. And it's coming in increments where it's not everything all at once. They get a little glimpse of it. You don't know if everything's going to come later or how fast or what it means. So I thought that dynamic was just great. Yeah.
How was it playing Superman as a father and just being part of the head of that family unit and just making sure, first and foremost, he's taking care of his family?
Yeah, great question. For me, my dad was always my Superman. I always looked at him as a paramount, untouchable rock, right? Kept the family together. And so as a father myself now, we always feel like that's our responsibility as well, to be there for our family to do our thing, and you know, to be able to put on the red, yellow, and blue, and to stand there shoulders up, even floating off the ground at times, that was just incredibly special. And recording it the first time was really great, but when we come back in for pickups and for ADR and we can see some of the animation, see it happening, which I love the animation, by the way. Stuff they're doing with the 3D builds, studio
Keep
mirror.
hearing this, man.
So good.
You saw it,
man,
huh?
so good. It just added to it, right? It elevates the performance, and it's amazing because as a kid I used to think Superman was like this unattainable thing, something you strive for.
Right.
But then you realize as a dad, much like when you were a kid, everybody can do it, right? You just have to step up and be available to do those things. So it was amazing, both as an actor and as a father. It was great. Yeah.
So my question for you is, what's one piece of advice you'd give to someone starting out today who wants to be a voice actor?
Oh boy. It's funny, somebody asked me what some of the best parenting advice was that I ever got. I think it actually applies to trying to go out for voice acting, which is keep your sense of humor, right? When things go wrong or start to look down, you just got to be able to laugh it off and learn, right? Every experience, whether a good or bad, positive or negative one, is going to teach you something. So as long as you can laugh about it afterwards and learn, then you're still moving forward, right? Good experiences we always want, but the bad ones really teach us more than anything else. As long as you maintain the direction and focus that you want, you'll advance. Yeah.
Can you give us a quick promo? Like, come check out Batman and Superman.
Yes. Yeah, come check out Batman and Superman Battle of the Super Sons on October 18th.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Appreciate
There we
you
go.
guys.
There we go.
Thanks,
Thank you,
man.
kiddo.
Appreciate you.
Have a kick-ass show, bro.
You too, man. Have a great weekend.
You too.
What's the voice